Hello and welcome to Spread Book Joy. Today I have got a mini book haul despite my book buying ban. If you're new to the channel, I am Jack. Welcome to Spread Book Joy. And if you're not new, welcome back. And if you're a recent subscriber, thank you for subscribing and sticking around. I recently reached just over 600 subscribers, which I'm really thrilled about. So welcome to all the people who've joined us recently. I'm glad you decided to stick around. And if you are fairly new, you might not know, I've been on a substantial physical book buying ban for some time. And it started off last year when I counted all of my physical books. I've got a video on it, which is really fun, and I'll link that in the description box. I decided to get all my physical books out and count the unread books. There were over 100, and at the time I was quite horrified by that because I'm kind of a crosser off of lists. I'm a to-do list person. I'm a checkbox person. I tick things off. I like things to be squared away and done, which is terrible as a teacher because you never get to the bottom of a to-do list. But I've been recognising that is not quite a healthy way to be. So I've also readjusted the way I think about my physical TBR because I've been watching lots of wonderful booktubers, one of whom is Gina Stanya, who's got an amazing attitude towards book collecting, and I've just accepted I am a collector of books, and whether I will have all those books read or not doesn't matter. I enjoy the pleasure of finding and acquiring a large book collection, and I'm going to be okay with that from now on. So I started off my book buying ban with the idea that I'm going to reduce my physical TBR. I haven't banned myself from buying ebooks or audiobooks or borrowing them. I've got various subscription services. I have Scribd, I have Audible, I have Kindle Unlimited. So if there are any books that I wanted to read that were new out, I could invariably find them on one of those services or get it from the library. The library app has been brilliant, Libby. I've been reserving loads of books on there. But recently I've not been well. I had COVID in the last week, which wasn't fun. My partner now has it and he's quite ill with it at the moment, but I tested negative today for the first time, so I thought I'd film a video while I'm negative. And I haven't, I've had lots of pressures on at work, and I had a couple of opportunities to wander into Waterstones, and that led to some book buying, and I was fine with that. I decided, you know what, I've been really, really good. I have been so great at not picking up books, physical books, and I love them and the joy it brings me. So when I acquired these books, I didn't beat myself up. I was like, there is so much joy to be had in the act of getting these books. Just get them. Don't feel guilty. Get them. Enjoy it. So that's what I've done. And I'll talk about each of the books. And one of the books is a Booker Prize winner, which I've been waiting at the library for months, and we'll have to wait months more. And I just thought it's supposed to be amazing. Just buy it. Some other books I've acquired because I'm running my first readathon. That's right. If you don't know about it, I am running a readathon with the amazing Shelley Swearingen in the month of April. It's called Picture This, and it is all about a celebration of picture books for everybody. So promoting the idea that picture books are not just for children, but can be enjoyed by anyone. So I acquired some books for that. So now, without all that preamble out of the way, I'm going to get into sharing what I bought. So first thing I bought 2 books. So I went into Waterstones to buy a birthday present for a friend, and I just thought, you know what, I've been waiting for Shuggie Bain on the library app for months now, and it's going to be another 3 or 4 months. I'm just going to buy it. It's got to be worth buying, right? I've heard such great things about it. I haven't read it yet, but yeah, Shuggie Bain is one of my books. And then I wandered into the children's section and the middle grade, and I saw this stunning looking book called The Sisters of the Lost Marsh by Lucy Strange. And Lucy Strange, this is a Chicken House book. I love Chicken House, the publisher. I've got a video all about that publisher, which I'll link in the description box below. And I've been meaning to read a Lucy Strange book for the longest time. She's middle grade. She does kind of mystery, ghostly kind of stories, and this is not only a beautiful looking book and it sounds amazing, but it's a signed by the author edition. Look at that. So she's put a horse stamp in it and everything, look. Life is hard for Willa, Grace and Freya and their 3 younger sisters, 6 motherless girls working a farm, living in fear of their cruel father and the superstition that obsesses him, the curse of 6 daughters. With the arrival of the mysterious full moon fair, there's a chance for the eldest girls to steal a moment's fun, but the day the fair moves on, Grace vanishes. Willa goes after her, following a trail that leads into the dangerous Lost Marsh, where it is said a will-o'-the-wisp lures lost souls into the dark waters of the Mire. If Willa is to survive and reunite her family, she'll need to unravel the secrets her father has kept hidden and face her own deepest fears. Sounds so good. On St Patrick's Day, I found myself wandering into another branch of Waterstones because I was waiting for some family who I was celebrating with, and there was a Waterstones branch nearby. I had half an hour to kill, so I thought, no, I'm going to go in and I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to have a look at the special editions that they've got, if they've got any nice cloth bound things or anything like that, and if anything strikes my fancy, I am going to buy it because it had a tough week at work, and I saw this amazing collection. It's Angela Carter's Fairy Tales, and look how beautiful this is. Absolutely stunning. And it's got, it's got one of those ribbon bookmarks and everything. And if you open it up and have a look at the inside, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's embossed. So it's this beautiful white cream cover, and it's embossed. It says Angela Carter's Book of Fairy Tales. So I've been meaning to read more Angela Carter. I read a couple of things, short stories by her last year, and I've been meaning to get into her work. And if you've been around here for a while, you'll know that one of my project is fairy tales. I started reading fairy tales a couple of years back, and I wanted to read through folk and fairy tales I wanted to read all the Grimms, but also British and Irish folk tales is something I wanted to get into. And this collection from Angela Carter is fairy tales and folk tales from around the world. So I was really excited to see this. And there's like little illustrations throughout. So it's absolutely beautiful. Now I thought this was going to be about 20 quid. It was £12.99, so it was a bargain, and it's just beautiful. We also saw, while I was in there, this gorgeous edition of Quartet in Autumn by Barbara Pym. I've wanted this for some time, since seeing Barbara Pym talked about by Marilyn Maya Mendoza. Gina Stania is like a mid-20th century female author, and Quartet in Autumn is one of her later books. It was written in the 70s, and it's about 4 older office workers, 2 men and 2 women, who are on the brink of retirement. And I finished it. I've read this and finished it already. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to read more Barbara Pym. This is the book that Marilyn Maya Mendoza recommended as one of her favourites from last year, I think. And it's great. Barbara Pym's subtle humour, and not so subtle humour at times, it just shines through in this book, but it's very poignant and sad, quite heartbreaking, and it's like an exploration of these 4 older people who just, they're approaching retirement, and they're feeling, I think, more and more irrelevant, and they're lonely. They're each of them very alone, but hiding behind a facade as if everything's okay quite a lot of the time. So it's quite sad and touching, and a real kind of intimate portrait of these people and getting older and how society is treating them. So I really enjoyed this, and look at that gorgeous cover. Then of course I had to go into the children's section, and they were buy one get one free. So I got Laika Charm, which is the latest book by Elle McNicoll. Elle McNicoll wrote one of my favourite children's books of the last few years, A Kind of Spark, and this is about a girl called Ramaya in Edinburgh. Edinburgh is a city filled with magical creatures. No one can see them except Ramaya Knox. She is pulled into her family's world of secrets and spells. Ramaya sets out to discover the truth about the hidden folk, with only 3 words of warning from her grandfather: beware the sirens. Plunged into an adventure that will change everything, Ramaya is about to learn that there is more to her powers than she ever imagined. And it's buy one get one free. Oh no, buy one get one half price. So I had to get another one for buy one get one half price, and it is this beautiful book. Look at this, October. Now I saw this reviewed over on Instagram by a marvellous book reviewer, and I'm urging you all to go and follow her Instagram account. Her name is Jen. Her account is Narwhal Books, and I'll put the link in the description box. She promotes and reviews the most wonderful books that every time I read any review by her, I really immediately want to go out and pick it up. Her books are not the books that everybody's reading. You find some unusual and different titles. She reads middle grade, but she reads literary fiction, a lot of literary fiction as well, a lot of memoir, and I really love her recommendations. This was one of them. And look how stunning it is. October and her dad live in the woods. They sleep in the house Dad built for them, and they know the trees and the rocks and the lake and the stars like best friends. They live in the woods and they are wild. And that's the way it is. Until the year October turns 11. That's the year October rescues a baby owl. It's the year Dad falls out of the biggest tree and goes to hospital. The year the woman who calls herself October's mother comes back. The year everything changes. And this is supposed to be a lyrical masterpiece about spreading your wings. Isn't it beautiful? The next couple of books I was actually sent by people on Instagram or YouTube. So the first one I was sent by Jen at Narwhal Books, and she reviewed this gorgeous looking book, and it sounds amazing, and it's about an alternative history. So it's called Oddity. Clover Elkin isn't looking for trouble. Trouble is in her blood. 13-year-old Clover Elkin lives in a land of marvels at the edge of the United States of America. She dreams of a life of adventure collecting magical oddities, ordinary objects with extraordinary powers, as her late mother did before her. But when her father is killed by lawless men, his last words set her on a quest to find the most necessary oddity of all, one that could help start a war or end it. Pursued across dangerous borderlands by her father's killers, Clover encounters a talking rooster, a secret-stealing hat, and the nightmarish seamstress. Longing to understand her parents' connection to the oddities, Clover must uncover truths so dark about herself and her country that they could overturn history itself. And it is a thrillingly original fusion of adventure, magic, and alternate history. So it's an alternate history set in 19th century America. An alternate 19th century America. Sounds amazing, right? And last, I entered a giveaway, didn't expect to win it, over at the amazing channel Library of a Viking. On Instagram, Library of a Viking has been around there for just over a year and now has, I think, something like 11,000, maybe more subscribers on Instagram. And he's decided, he specialises in fantasy and sci-fi, and he decided to start his own YouTube account and immediately got 1,000 subscribers. And to celebrate, he did a giveaway, and I didn't expect to win the giveaway, but I did win. And it's this amazing edition of this book called The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reid. And look at this. Oh, isn't it pretty? And even better, it's a signed edition. So if you look inside, we've got a signed edition of the book, but also, there it is, signed. He messaged me and he said, oh, have you had a look at the inside of the dust jacket? Don't forget to look at that. So if you just look under the dust jacket, we've got this lovely thing under the dust jacket. But if you look inside the dust jacket, just look at that. Editing Jack here. I just realised I didn't tell you what the book was about. It's apparently a dark, evocative and unforgettable fantasy debut steeped in Hungarian history and Jewish mythology. It's about a girl called Evika, who's the only woman in her village without power, and she's treated like an outcast due to her corrupted bloodline. When soldiers arrive from the Holy Order of Woodsman to claim a girl for the king's blood sacrifice, Evika is betrayed by her fellow villagers and surrendered. When monsters attack the Woodsman and they're captive en route to the capital, they slaughter everyone but Evika and the cold one-eyed captain. Soon she learns he's no ordinary woodsman, that he's a disgraced prince whose cruel, zealous brother plans to seize the throne and instigate a reign of religious persecution and ethnic cleansing. With no one to rely on, Evika and the captain form a tenuous pact to stop his brother. This is a really special edition of this book. So I've not read it yet. I will. I feel like I'll be reading it with gloves on so that I don't spoil it in any way, shape or form. But yeah, that was an amazing surprise. Last, I bought some picture books for my readathon. I bought The Dark by Lemony, Snickett and John Klassen. I bought another John Klassen book, which is John Klassen and Mac Barnett, Sam and Dave Dig a Hole. And I bought Footpath Flowers, which is a beautiful wordless picture book. These are all going to be the first three that I've just mentioned in my recommendations videos for Picture This, because I'm doing a recommendations video on Saturday. And I bought two others which are not in my recommendations video, but I just thought looked absolutely beautiful. One is called The Dam, and it's a stunning book by David Almond, who wrote Skellig and is a writes a lot of great middle grade and YA fiction. David Almond, very hard hitting stuff, a lot of his work, but beautiful writer. And David Almond's worked alongside the illustrator Levi Pinfold. Now, Levi Pinfold I only heard about recently because I reviewed The Last Bear by Hannah Gold, and that is the illustrator, Levi Pinfold. So when I saw his name on this, I just had to get it, and it sounds like an amazing story. So it's called The Dam, and it's all about the flooding of Kielder Valley, and it's a true story told to David Almond, who is from the northeast, I believe. He was told to him by a woman called Catherine Tickle, and she's a folk musician. And she and her father, when she was a young girl, the valley was flooded in the late 70s, early 80s. I think by 1981 it was fully flooded. So the Kielder Valley, they've built the dam and flooded this valley that used to be home to a small community and lots of wildlife and everything else. And her father took her with her fiddle to play music at all of the houses and in all of the places in the Kielder Valley before the water rose, because the valley was always full of life and people who loved music. So I just thought it was a beautiful idea, and so did David Almond, really, because he's written this beautiful story and it's illustrated just so beautifully. It's breathtaking. So yeah, I bought that because that was lovely. And the other book that I thought that was beautiful is this one. It's called Rhythm of the Rain. So I don't know if you can see the shiny on it, but it's all about the water cycle, but told in a really beautiful story of a boy who he's playing in a little pond near where he lives, and he pours his jar of water into the pond, and then you follow the journey of this jar of water out to the ocean, and then how the water sort of is sucked up and rains down. Sucked up and rained down. Look at that, it's very scientific, isn't it? But yeah, how the water cycle happens, basically. Just beautiful. Okay, that was my mini book haul. Was it that mini? I don't think it was that mini, was it? I hope you liked it. Has anyone read any of those books? If you have read any of those books, let me know. Did you like them? Do you think there's any I should prioritise? I have read one of them now. I read Quartet in Autumn, and I loved it. If there's anything there that you've read or would like to read, let's have a chat in the comments below, and hopefully I'll see you again here soon. Bye!